Good morning, everybody. I wanted to share something with you guys that was really weighing on me for quite a while, about the past week or so now. I've been dwelling on a few things and a few verses that have been running through my head, and this morning I want to say it was T.D. Jake. I was listening to a message by him, and it was something he said with joy coming in the morning. That is one thing that really hit me this morning. Now, it's a cloudy day here where I am, and it's not really good for me. I like the sun. A lot of us do. We all enjoy those bright days, those days where the path is lit right up, right? And this is where Scripture is continually telling us that when the bad days come, that there is still a way to walk, right? It says, He will be the lamp unto our feet. So it's not for everybody's feet, but our own feet, our own 2 feet. And then, well, joy comes in the morning. Well, here's the part of morning that some forget. It's not the morning that you think when you wake up out of bed. Sometimes it's the morning of a loss. Sometimes it's the morning of letting go of something. Sometimes it's the morning of, well, you know, that thing you want to let go of. It's time to bury it. Joy comes in the morning. Now, the way T.D. Jake explained this was, I'm not going to get into that. That's his message of his own. But the way it was brought to me was completely different than how the pastor was speaking it. And that, my friend, is how Scripture moves. Now, I had the same thing with David and the stones, and speaking about how those are sometimes the generational curses when David picked them up and had to hurl them. He had to get rid of those generational curses because he didn't want anything to do with them. Well, it's the same thing when joy comes in the morning, because sometimes we've got to bury those things that we no longer want to carry, but sometimes they keep bothering us, and we have to work all night digging those trenches because, man, it is dark out here and it's scary. But we got to keep digging those foxholes. I remember my grandfather, my aunt's husband, back in the day, they were World War II veterans. They were telling me how they were digging trenches all night long to hide from the enemy. I could not imagine, even at my age now, that those boys, they were boys when they were shipped overseas, had to dig trenches to hide. And sometimes we have to do the same thing. We have to continue to dig those trenches to get away from the enemy, and then realize that when the light comes, it's time to leave the old you down in that hole, and it's time to get up and rise up and start walking towards what God has called you to do. Because some of you don't realize how hurt you've been. Some of you don't realize how much God has put on you to bring you out of those ashes. You don't understand that His right hand is right there in the hole saying, come, follow me in this storm. I can lead you to a better way and a better day. But it starts with getting up, because joy comes in the morning. Joy comes in the morning. Every day you wake up, you got to realize that joy comes in the morning. So anytime you lose something, anytime something falls apart on you, anytime something goes awry, something explodes in front of your face, joy comes in the morning. So when you're done crying and having the pity party over it, realize that there was a blessing in that in disguise. And God is going to do crazy, abundantly things for you. I pray and I hope that this message hits each and every one of you. I pray you all have a wonderful, wonderful day today. God bless.